Hello and welcome to Story Dude, the hottest channel on YouTube, where a team of expert story pickers have scoured Reddit and found the best stories for you.
Difference between mothering and caring for my boyfriend? Me and my boyfriend are both in our 20s, he is 3 years older than me and we've been together for a year and a half. I love him and I want to show that to him in every way I can, but I've been told that sometimes I mother him too much, which can cause him to not see me as his girlfriend, partner anymore. A few examples of things I do. I cook for him, I like to bring him food and snacks in the bedroom. I give him back rubs and foot rubs. I always bring him snacks or drinks from my work or ask him if he wants anything. Whenever he is staying over for a longer period of time, I do his laundry too. I buy him gifts. This is my first serious relationship and I'm not sure if what I'm doing is bare minimum in a relationship or if I'm mothering him too much. I am naturally caring and nurturing, so I'm happy to do all this for him, but if I'd like to know what I can change if this is too much and unhealthy. Any advice or help is appreciated. Thank you. Don't set the expectation that you do all the cooking, cleaning. You'll grow to resent him. My husband and I have been together for 18 years. I make his lunch, lay his clothes out for the next day, make his DRS appointments and handle all the laundry, dishes, house cleaning, etc. Sounds like a lot, right? But he knows I hate shopping, so he does it. Whether that means running to the grocery store for dinner or taking our daughters to get their homecoming dresses. He actively engages in our kids' lives. Isn't above going to parent-teacher conferences. Always make sure I get a bubble bath every night, and never forgets to buy me the latest Stephen King novel. Do we parent each other? Nah. He wants the best for me and I want the best for him, and as long as your boyfriend is reciprocating, I don't think it's too much. Feeling guilty when I, 21F, have low days, feeling sad because my 22M boyfriend is grieving. Hi guys, my boyfriend and I have been together almost 1 year. Of those months 2 were just getting to know each other and see if we wanted to date one another. This May, his father passed away because he was sick. It hit him pretty hard because he was fairly close to him. I try my very hardest to always be there for him, listen, comfort, console, make him laugh, distract him, everything I feel one must do to help. I don't know much about grief, but I try my very best to understand and I do my research on how I can be the most help to him. One tricky part to all of this is that we are an interfaith couple. I am Catholic, he is a Muslim, both practicing. Our families are the typical traditional immigrants. This was something I tread very carefully with in the beginning and even now because we both have differences, of course. One main topic was kids. Before his father passed away, we both agreed that if this continues and we get married, have kids, we would teach them what I believe and what he believes and let them decide. Now since his father passed one night before dropping me, hope he randomly tell me he wants to raise his kids Muslim. Whenever we have conversations like this, he does not like to talk about it for too long and tries to get away from the conversation. I understand it can cause anxiety, I hate having the conversation too, but I know this is very important to have. I get super sad thinking about it because I feel I'm sacrificing a lot and compromising. My family will be very upset because we're not allowed to marry outside Catholicism versus in his religion it's fine to marry a Catholic and his mom won't mind. He doesn't mind celebrating Christmas as long as there is no religious aspect to it, but he wants to celebrate Eid. He would like me to come to the mosque here and there, when married, just to learn about what his religion is, not to convert me. But doesn't want to go to church, and if we have kids he wouldn't want them to go to church with me. I told him my biggest fear is losing myself and value in all this, and he said, as far as losing yourself, a relationship, marriage is compromise. Everyone loses a bit of themselves because no one gets everything. And it goes both ways OBV, and I think I lost sight of that in the beginning and you shed some light on it. I try not to bring it up because he's already dealing with his father's death and these conversations also need to be had, but I don't know what to do and how to bring it up. He only talks to me about what he's feeling. I am just stuck alone with my thoughts trying to figure out what to do and give him time, but how much time I have no idea. I am sorry for the long rant, confounded face, and thank you for taking the time to read and reply. If you would like me to clarify anything, please ask and I will try my best to do so. Edit. He has said he would never want me to convert unless in my heart I wanted to. TLDR, feeling guilty when I, 21F, have low days, feeling sad because my 22M boyfriend is grieving. So you can't celebrate Christmas, which is one of the most important days of your faith. But he can celebrate his? It doesn't sound like a low day to me. It sounds like a major issue for the two of you. It sounds like he wants to convert you to his faith, which is no joke. Could you imagine raising sons, daughters in the Muslim faith and everything that entails? You're only 21. Take some serious time to think this through. His situation is unfortunate for the time being, but you have to consider how you'll live the next 70+ years of your life. He may have said he doesn't want you to convert, but he also said a lot of other things that he's suddenly changed his mind on. I've been ignored for over a year by my husband and found out why. Advice? I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 36 male, for 8 years. He's been very distant for well over a year now. I have tried over and over to talk to him to get him to open up to me, but he keeps telling me that we'll talk later, and it just doesn't happen. He keeps me shut out completely. I'm a Psalm. We have 2 kids, both under 7, that he does not pay attention to. He doesn't help with any chores. He doesn't help with the kids. Whenever they try to get his attention or try to talk to him, he gets really irritated, yells at them to leave him alone, and leaves the room anytime any one of us comes into it. I feel like I'm living with a stranger. When he comes home from work and goes straight to his computer and spends all of his time on it. If he's off from work, he's on his computer literally all day. He left his computer open and I looked at it. I understand it's an invasion of his privacy. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. I found that he's been looking at a lot of trans women porn and gay porn. I also found that he had some DMs with someone who is transgender, and she talked about meeting up, and he hasn't responded yet, but he looked up the city where she lives in. I don't care if he's bisexual. What I care about is that he is trying to have another relationship outside of our marriage. We are not in an open marriage. This isn't the first time where he's secretly tried to meet up with someone. A couple years ago he met up with a woman who he was interested in the guise of trying to do an art project with, and got shut down when he realized she was just being nice and wanted nothing to do with him. I don't know if he's met up with any more people from the first time he did it until the recent DMs with this other person. I honestly don't know what to do. I don't know how to go about talking about it with him. I'm just so sick to my stomach about all of it. I'm just so lost. Any advice would help. Edit. Thank you to everyone for the clear consensus. I genuinely thought that there was something I could do or say to try to fix my marriage, but it's obviously way beyond repair. I just didn't want to see or believe it. I lost myself completely this last year. The sadness and the loneliness consumed me. I'm absolutely terrified about the future, but leaving him is the best thing I can do for my kids. They don't deserve to be treated this way. They don't deserve to grow up with a father that doesn't care. Thanks again for the kick in the ass in the right direction. I needed it. It sounds like he has effectively left your marriage already. Go talk to a divorce lawyer before you talk to him. I feel for you, but truth bomb incoming. You need to stop worrying about him, yourself and your marriage, and step up for your children. Because this is awful for them. Really, truly awful. They are going to deal with all kinds of mental and emotional health problems due to his repeated rejection of them and your failure to protect them and stand up for them. Their own mother is sacrificing them on the altar of an abusive man. Please step up for your children and make them your priority and concern. Somebody has to. The only advice you need is to leave him. He's unfaithful, distant, doesn't want to parent his kids. He isn't a partner and doesn't want to be. Update. BF gave me edible without consent. New to Reddit, so not sure how to update the original post, but here's the link. Original post, PPL wanted update, so here it is. Further context on the above story. When I, 23 female, arrived at his, 24 male, home, his puppy was actually very high. He said that he accidentally licked cannabutter off his finger. We were actually nursing him as he was shaking and very frightened and also very weak. Sad face. He's very tiny. BF then admitted he lied how his dog got high and stated he purposefully gave some to him for his leg pain because he ran out of the usual CBD ingestible he usually gives him. This admission was after I'd eaten the cannabutter sandwich, which made me then question the food when I started to experience even the mildest of symptoms before it got bad. Nauseous, immobile, pins and needles. To be honest, I didn't understand how he could do it to the pup and feel really bad and then do it to me too immediately after. And him watching me nurse him and say myself, this is why I don't do edibles, he's probably so scared. Socio? I went NC for a week until I mustered up strength to discuss what happened. I wanted to express my feelings as I am a brush it under gal. During the talk, I asked him to go first to hear his raw thoughts. He said a couple of reasons. 1. He wanted to give it to me to relax. 2. He wanted to get closer to me on a psychedelic level, because he felt I was getting distant from him. IDK how I would be distant from him as we talked 24/7 and I know his family etc. He first apologized for giving me too much, which I then corrected because he shouldn't have given me any, considering he knew I was weed abstinent as well. I basically fed him why it was FCKDD up until he agreed. He was at first not accepting that this was legal assault or profoundly immoral. He was more of the mindset that it was a mistake. I mentioned he likely knew it was immoral, hence the reason he didn't inform me of food tampering. In furthering the talk, he admitted that maybe it was something in himself that was insecure about my sobriety versus his using. He didn't really complete the thought, so I suspect he did it to me because of that insecurity. A couple days later, he asks me how I'm doing. I respond I'm okay, just emotionally processing. He then proceeds to excitedly tell me that he's being taken out to dinner with some guy that's made romantic advances on him in the past. We've talked extensively about how this dude makes me uncomfortable not only because of the advances but because of his dark, misogynistic energy. It is not because he's gay, guys. It just felt like emotional cheating at that point due to their tension, history, the sheer amount of conversations we've had. A flat that dude and his sinister vibe. He then switched up when he sensed my anger and suddenly said the dinner was for biz. But boyfriend is not 3 malaploid. We've been NC ever since. My question of advice is this level of boundary disregard common? He's the only boyfriend I ever had. 6 years. This is definitely hard for me as it's difficult to separate these situations, the weed, the dinner etc., from the man that also provides me with happiness and companionship for so long in my life. Breaking up but I haven't told him. IG just gonna ghost. Why are you staying with a man who drugged you, lied to you, abused his dog, and doesn't give a shit about your boundaries? Cut him loose and maybe think about getting therapy to help with your self-esteem because this isn't healthy. He abused his dog. He assaulted you, to the point he could have faced charges for drugging you. Now he's cheating. This guy is an apical level of toxic and abusive. That poor dog is going to die if he keeps that up. Not to mention being miserable. Please get a therapist. Nothing about his behavior is normal or healthy or remotely okay. What was done to you is incredibly wrong, and you need to process that. You also need to see the level of bad so that you don't fall into this type of situation again.